Welcome to the class of economics. My name is Meera. I'm a senior faculty for economics at IBS. See, economics is module A from the paper Advanced Bank Management. There are 11 topics in this paper. The first topic is fundamentals of economics. The first topic is fundamentals of economics. In this topic, we'll be dealing with what is economics, who are the prominent economists, what are the different definitions of economics, what are the different classifications in economics, and what are the different types of economies. See, it is very important to understand a subject before we go deeper into it. So, shall we start the class? Okay. We'll start with what is economics. The word economics has been derived from a Greek word oikonomia. It is from this Greek word oikonomia, it is said that the word economics has been derived. The word oikonomia basically means household. It is from this concept, household. See, in a house, there is a demand for a lot of commodities. These commodities in economic terms is known as goods and services. So, in a household, there is a demand for goods and services. But from where do we get these? Do we produce all these? Who distributes these? How is it that the common people gets all these things? What is the source? So this is what we study in economics. So we can say that economics deals with the proper production, distribution, and allocation of goods and services. Once again, economics deals with the proper production, distribution, and allocation of goods and services. So that is the definition for economics. Otherwise, you can say that economics deals with the utilization of resources. Now, we have to see who are the prominent economists. First of all, Adam Smith is known as the father of economics. Adam Smith is considered to be the father of economics. In the year 1776, Adam Smith has given a major contribution to the world of economics. It is known as an inquiry into the nature and causes of wealth of nations. So this is the contribution of Adam Smith. Adam Smith is the father of economics. It was in the year 1776 that he has given a major contribution to the world of economics. It is known as an inquiry into the nature and causes of wealth of nations. So you have to study the names of the economists, their years of contribution, and also what they have contributed. Okay. So it is easy if you remember these words, wealth of nations. So now you can relate Adam Smith to his contribution, that is wealth of nations. And since Adam Smith gave more importance to the resource wealth, this definition is known as wealth definition. So the first definition given to economics was by Adam Smith, and that definition is known as wealth definition. Adam Smith has studied how the resource wealth is distributed among different economies of the world. See, all the economies are not equally endowed. Some economies are rich, some economies are poor. There are developed, there are developing economies, there are haves and have-nots. So what is it that makes these economies so different? So that is what Adam Smith has made a study on. And that is why this definition is known as wealth definition. Okay, I hope that is very clear to you. But see, not all people are perfect, isn't it? And their works, they are not complete. So Adam Smith's work also faced many criticisms. A major criticism that we have to study is this work is considered to be materialistic.
Please subscribe, like, amp, share.
Adam Smith's work is considered to be very materialistic in nature. Maybe because he hasn't given importance or stress to the welfare of the people. He has given importance only to the wealth of nations. So moving on, we can go to the next economist. So this was the first economist that we just learned, Adam Smith. Adam Smith's definition is wealth definition. Second economist is Professor Alfred Marshall. Professor Alfred Marshall is an English economist. His work is Principles of Economics. Principles of Economics. Alfred Marshall also gave a definition to economics. Economics is the study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. So according to Alfred Marshall, economics is again a study of mankind. It is the study of the common people. It is a study of the human beings. So he has given importance to human welfare. So that part is clear from the definition itself. So according to Alfred Marshall, economics is the study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. So ordinary business of life means we require so many things. We have so many wants. From where do we get them? What is the source? So that is what is economics is about. How an ordinary man deals with his daily needs and how he satisfies his needs. So that is what Alfred Marshall has stressed upon. So because he has given importance to the welfare of the people, this definition is known as welfare definition. Now, there are no criticisms here. We can. Economist Lionel Robbins. Lionel Robbins has also given a definition to economics. Economics is the science which deals with human behavior as a relationship between ends and skirts, means which have alternative uses. It's a very big definition, but we will go through it part by part. According to Lionel Robbins, economics is the science. Economics is considered to be a scientific subject. It is an art subject, we know that, but still economics is such a subject which varies, keeps on changing. It's a very dynamic subject, a very versatile subject. The concepts in economics such as international trade, banking, money supply, demand, inflation, business cycles, all these things, they keep on changing. They never remain stationary. So that's why we consider economics as a scientific subject. So the first part is economics is the science which deals with human behavior. So like we said before, economics is the study of the people itself. So that's why it is considered as a subject that deals with the human behavior. As a relationship between two terms, ends and skirts, means. So these terms are very important. These two terms, as a relationship between ends and skirts, means which have alternative uses. So let us see what these terms mean. Let's go through the first simple one, means. Means mean resources. Means are our resources and ends are our wants. That means the resources that help us to satisfy our wants. Okay, so means are the resources and ends are our wants. Now when you compare the means and ends, we can say that our resources are very limited. Resources are very limited when compared to the wants, because wants are unlimited. So let us write that down also. Limited means and unlimited ends. So now let us see what the relationship is. The relationship in economics between means and ends is between limited means and unlimited wants. So that is what is economics. That is what we learn in economics, or that is what economics deals with. Now again, the remaining of the definition. Scarce means, that is the limited means, they have alternative uses. So these means can be put to alternative uses. Suppose you are having a piece of land. That piece of land can be alternatively used depending on our intentions. Like I can build something, I can keep it like that, I can sell it after a few years, a mall can come there, farming can be done, anything is possible with that piece of land. But the resource was one and the same, it was a piece of land, but it could be put to alternative uses. So, we know that our means are very limited, but they can be put to alternative uses. So that is the complete definition. Once again, I'll just repeat the definition. Economics is the science which deals with human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. This definition is presently accepted as the definition of economics, and it is known as scarcity definition. This definition is known as scarcity definition because it mainly deals with scarce resources. Also, Lionel Robbins has also given importance to two other aspects as well. The first one, he considers man to be a rational being. Man is considered to be a rational being. That is, man is someone who takes logical decisions. Okay, because we know that our resources are very scarce, so we need to think properly and we should take right decisions. So that's why man is considered to be a rational being. Another thing is, man can make a choice. So only man has the ability to make the right choices. So we have to learn all these things together when we learn Lionel Robbins. So Lionel Robbins has given us the scarcity definition, and that definition is presently accepted as the definition for economics.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment. See you in next video.